Welcome to Reality is Undefeated. I'm at Gatewood. Thank you for tuning in. There's a couple things I want to talk about today, man. First thing is, when you see the word black people, black community, black men, black women in my title, my description, my thumbnail, that's not me saying that what I'm talking about is specific to black people or that only black people experience these things. This is a black improvement channel. So black people are my target audience. So there's no better way to make that more clear than putting black in my title. I can make a video telling parents, take your kids to the park. It's free. That's what they really want to do anyway. And I'll title it, Black People, Take Your Kids to the Park. It doesn't mean that that information isn't useful to other communities or that black people don't take their kids to the park. It's simply necessary for it to pop up on your feed. I've said before that it doesn't matter how good a message is if no one hears it. It's the same as if it wasn't said at all. Those who receive my videos receive them because either they're subscribed and hit the notifications, or this is the type of content they're into, so my videos get pumped into their feed. I have too many good messages that underperformed because I didn't put black in my title. And it's something I won't apologize for. These messages need to get out there. So please don't get offended by the titles. I'm not the one that comes up with the algorithm. But just like basketball, however I decide to put the ball in the hoop, it's going to be determined by what the defense allows. That's one thing. Another thing I want to talk about is something that I see happening in the comments a lot that I'm a little unsettled by, okay? Now, I know this isn't the reason people are doing this, so I'm not saying it like that, not saying it to like get on people. I just want to bring some awareness to the issue. When we're in debate and we bring up stats and we use terms like minority and few, so on and so forth, I just want to make sure we understand that there are people in that 1, 5, 10, 15, 20%. And we can't speak on these things dismissively because that's how people become invisible to society. And again, I know it's not done intentionally for that purpose. We're just bringing up stats to try and solidify the points we're trying to make in conversation. But if the conversation is loud enough, then this becomes a direct result of that. Like if I got on camera and said, black people, stop worrying about police killing black folk. That's less than 1/100,000th of a percent of us. Black people will be furious. In fact, I might do that. I might clip just that part and upload it as a short so we can see the outrage, the backlash it will create. And justifiably so, because we understand that that's a person, a mother, father, son, daughter, brother, sister, but that's the actual figure. And the figure doesn't take into account whether the situation was justifiable or not. We would be furious because we understand that one unjustifiable death is one too many. And the same, in my opinion, can be said for children growing up in poverty or reading below grade level or stuck in the foster care system, innocent men and women stuck in the justice system, young people dying of senseless violence, the victims of trafficking, etc. These are all people, and one is one too many. We can't just stuff them and their problems into a number and set it to the side. No, there are roses actually trying to break through this concrete. There are people trying to raise themselves out of the poor conditions they were born into. People right now whose face is stuck into this law book trying to appeal their wrongful convictions. Their fight has to be met with understanding from the majority that their situation is just as serious as if it were affecting the majority. I told y'all before that I come from the absolute bottom. It's why I'm not comfortable letting shit be. Because when we talk about these things, I can put actual faces to stories, so it hits a little different. But there are a lot of invisible people in our communities. People who suffer in silence because there isn't a face to put on the front of their issue. I talked about this when I spoke of the crack cocaine epidemic. Like, what are crackheads? Men and women who fell victim to a substance that was much stronger than they were. And there's no shame in that. But as a community, we didn't come to their aid. We walked right past them as if they didn't exist. The only time we acknowledge a drug addict in our communities is when they dancing or doing some weird shit on the corner and we're getting a laugh out of it. The same with homeless people. We don't care to know their stories. We don't even want to make eye contact with them because we don't want them asking for shit. When we see a woman walking down the streets with big shades and we can see the outline of that black eye, we keep our concern to ourselves. We act like we didn't see it, and they try their best to keep us from seeing it. When we see a man walking down the streets with big shades and you can see the outline of that black eye, we get to cracking up. Ta, buddy got his ass beat. But we don't know the story behind that. He could be the victim of a domestic. His woman could have attacked him while he honored the code of never putting his hands on a woman. And he will never receive a helping hand from society. We, myself included, are going to tell him to man up. Do we even know how to identify and help trafficking victims? I certainly don't. Have y'all noticed that people who advocate the most for other people have similar backgrounds? The people who volunteer, the people who start nonprofits and hotlines have almost always come from the exact position of the person they're trying to help. They make it out of those circumstances and dedicate their lives to helping others make it out. Because if not for them making it out, there will be no advocacy, because we don't even see these people. Anyhow, I just wanted to bring awareness to that. I know everyone can't be saved, everyone can't make it out, but as long as there are people trying to make it out, trying to get help, there should always be someone there trying to reach down and give them a helping hand. But in order to do that, we have to make sure that we always see them as people. I want to thank you all again for the support and encouragement you continue to throw my way. I leverage that against the hate, and even though we're the minority, we continue to come out victorious. Y'all be safe out there in those streets.